Alright, big test. Alright, we're going to attempt to take the carb out and do the needle on it. So, there's a band. This cable mount comes off. And then on the other side, choke's gotta come off. That'll be the hardest part, is the choke. And we gotta turn it, and then it should pop out. Apparently you can do this without totally removing the carb. You just spin it this way, get at the top, and then spin it back to get at the bottom. But I think it's easier to remove the carb. I think. Lose that screw. My head's not in the way. That's the throttle cable off. Loosen the bands. Probably sticking my head in the camera. And now we gotta do the choke. Okay, so I got the choke out. It's pretty difficult to get at. This is only plastic, so you gotta be careful with it. So once I got it loose, then I could turn the carb in and just get my fingers on it to unscrew it. I'll have to do it in the reverse, put it back in. Okay, so now, theoretically, yeah, just gotta take that one hose off and the carb's out. Alright, there's the carb. This is the kit from Eagle Mike. There's the new needle, screws, and new top screws. These go on the top here. So we're going to be taking off the top, printed off the instructions, see if we can follow them. Be careful not to strip these screws. It says there's a spring underneath here and the top will push up. Take these screws out because we're replacing those ones. I don't think it matters which way the top goes, but I'm gonna mark it anyways. Yeah, there's the top and the spring. So put those aside. This is the diaphragm. And when you put this back on, you gotta make sure that diaphragm is perfect. Remove the plastic spring seat. That apparently is the plastic spring seat. Okay, there's a needle, there's spacers, screws, another clip. Take the needle out. The needle nose are a little too wide. Need something to pull that needle out. That needle is the center down in there. You can see that. See if these ones will reach. There's the stock needle. Compared to the new needle, there's a different setting where the clip goes, and the needles are a bit different. This goes tapered all the way, it's supposed to give smoother response, and this is got a quick taper on the end, and that's about it. So I can put one thin washer under the clip. The brass washer goes on top. Needle back in the hole, and then the lid and the spring go back on. And here's where you gotta make sure that this gasket is sitting proper and in the groove. Gotta put the spring seat back in, and the spring, and then top with the new screws. Make sure that it presses down without pinching the diaphragm. Looks like it's good. All right. That's the top part done. And now we got to do the bottom. Same thing. Careful you don't strip the screws. Not that it matters because we're replacing them, but it's nice to get them out. and this one doesn't want to cooperate. Oh yeah, it went good. So it says if you're doing this on the bike, you got to watch for a little rod that doesn't slide out or something. We'll see what's in here. I know there's a float in here and needle jets or main jets, something along that line. In the bottom, got a gasket on there. There's your float, and there's this little needle that is attached to the float. The float will fall, and that little needle will want to come out. So, all right, main jet. So it wants us to take the main jet out. 8mm wrench, flathead screwdriver. There's the main, same as one of those. Now we're going to find the number on these things. I don't know where the number is. I can't read that. It says to use a 140 main. Wow. There's a 140. You can barely see that number on the side there. Even with my little magnifying glasses, but I think that's the 140. That's the stock. It also gives you a 142 and a 140 something or other, but we're going to use the 140 because I'm stock. I don't have a pipe. If you had the pipe on, you use a 142. Make sure that's a 140. It looks like a 140. That goes back in. And that's the jet. Now, yeah, now it just says to put it back on. We're done that part. Pretty self-explanatory. Groove there, groove here. Drop in. New screws. Alright. Now it tells you to check the setting on the idle mixture screw. 1/8 inch drill bit and a sheet metal screw to remove the plug. So somebody's removed the plug already. That's this one here. So we just got to check it. Small blade screwdriver. So you screw it in lightly until it seats and then back it out 2 full turns. And then that should be it. So a nice little tiny screwdriver. Let's see where it's set. So half, one, half. It was set about 1 3/4, so half, one, 1 1/2, 2. And that's it. So that's the KLX needle mod for the KLR 650 2003. The old needle. We'll just hang on to that stuff. And we're good. All done. Right on. Okay, time to try and put this back in now. Got the vent hose back on. This hose goes around to the fuel line, so it's got to be in there somehow, but you got to push the clamps back as far as you can. I'm not sure which way better to start with. Now might be a good time to hook the choke back up. The plastic threads are going to be fun. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, clamps are tight. Carb is in fairly level, I think. I gotta put the cables back on. There's just like you put it in a hole and there's a little slot there and slides in. This one's a little tougher, but it's doable. Gotta get in there, that's all. I don't think it's sitting right. There we go. Oh, sorry. Really? And then that little gap has to go on that pin. Yeah, these bikes have two throttle cables. One is return, one is on. So I put some lube on that cable. Okay, she's in. I lubed her up. All right, big test. All right, so far so good.